Hey, Brett. We've seen some video of the practices, and we've seen Ben shooting the ball a lot, and we've also seen some video that Ben sent out from his workouts in LA, where he told another player that he was working with. He said, "Watch out in Orlando." Do you think that Ben is going to shoot more?
I mean, just if I take just the past, what is it now, 5 days, and you just sort of look at the variety of ways that he has scored. You know, the last sort of chunk of time I had him, probably more off ball stuff. Today, with a Tobias, Al Horford, Furkan, Matisse group that will be part of my rotation. He had the ball again. And so, you're just using him in a bunch of ways, and you're seeing all the different ways that he can score. And your point about shooting is true. And I think just because of the variety of ways that we're trying to use him helps in some capacity. And I think maybe most helpful is his mentality. Like, he's coming down here with just a tremendous spirit. Like, his 3-point shot is looking good. He shot more threes in practice the last few days than he might have for almost half a season. And he looks good. He feels good. And I know he's getting tremendous encouragement from his teammates.
Thank you, Brett.
Welcome, John.
All right, we're going into Kevin O'Connor next.
Hey, Brett, there's understandably lots of talk about Ben Simmons' jumper. I'm intrigued by him as a screener. He has athleticism on the roll like a Blake Griffin, short roll playmaking vision like a Draymond Green. So I'm curious, how can Shake Milton's three-point shooting ability off the dribble unlock some of those qualities in Ben Simmons as a screener?
I mean, it's a really good question. I agree with that, and it's something that we've always tried to play with, and it's got to the stage where, because we have some, I don't know, like viable alternatives, it seems now is the time to do that, as it relates to him being so explosive, as a screen and roller, and the fact that he can, play out of that pocket and pick off corners, the fact that he's just one power dribble dunk at the rim in a gather step is obvious. Like, we all see it, and I think we're putting him in different floor spots, whether it's more of a step up over on, say, a lane line. There's a middle pick and roll where you just probably one gather step, straight to the rim, not as far away, and as it relates to those other areas. And to your question about, well, what Shake do that maybe can better help that, it's simple in that we haven't had a ton of guards over my time that defenders are forced to go over. And, when you have a guard and you have a point guard that the defense is told and the player is scouted, we prefer you chasing over pick and rolls more than shooting gaps and going under, because, Shake can punish that with his skill shooting. Then the world makes, even more sense. It opens up Ben even more so on those honey spot half rolls, especially. But the starting point is when you have a player that defenders have to go over, that half roll, that sort of gather step area ends up being so much more available and open if a defender chases.
So it does sound like you guys do plan to run more pick and roll than you may have with Richardson or Butler in the past with this type of unit you have planned.
I believe so. It feels like, it's pointing in that direction. It's something that with the emergence of Shake, and I think Jay Rich is capable of doing it as well. In a pinch, I think Furkan can do it. Probably the main thing that you should hear is, I think, ball handlers that people are forced to go over, and there is punishment, like if it's switching, like sometimes Tobias and in Ben is just an easy switch, and at times it's not easily exploited. I think when you get a legitimate guard like Shake and people chase, I hope to be able to do that more really than we have in the past.
Thanks, Brett.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Kevin. We're going to go to Lauren Rosen next.
Hi, Brett. Last time we spoke, you said that you were enthused by the way that Ben and Joel were playing off of each other in practice. Aside from the fact that they're both healthy now, what looks different or special between the two of them?
Just a chemistry, a relationship in finding each other. There is in last week I had Ben, and I'm calling it last week only because yesterday we had off. And so we strung, 4 practices together. And you could see, just with Ben playing sort of, an interior position more than, being the primary ball carrier, you could see sort of like that big relationship, high-low, duck in. Joel would be posted, Ben would play peekaboo, at that low, what I call a low zone on the other side of the floor. Would come down and trail, would throw it to Joe, and Ben would, a rim run guy would duck in. And I felt like just the partnership, the relationship, the big mentality, finding each other was crazily obvious, something that caught me off guard when you haven't played basketball in, 4 months. And at that time we had, we're playing Ben during this period that I'm speaking of as an interior player. And so they had a real chance to grow that big relationship more so than I think with Ben, as a primary ball carrier. And so when I mentioned that a few days ago, that's what I was referring to.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.